Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Sunday, which means it's a review show special. And today I'm going to be looking at Chris Congreve and Gary Jones' new book, Alas, Smith and Jones. This is the third book that Chris has written. I did a review show special on the previous book, which was the Congreve's Curiosities, which I gave a great review to. And this is the third book. It's bigger, it's better, and it's badder. I mean, this book is huge. There are 88 effects. 17 of them are brand new, unpublished material. It's a best of the best of all of the stuff that Gary and Chris have published over their previous 4 books. Chris Congreve has obviously published 2 books in the past, and Gary Jones has published 2 books as well, Life's a Beach and Life's a Beach Volume 2. The first bunch of routines, I think the first 70 odd routines, are the best of the best from these books. And then there's another 17 routines that are brand new that I've never seen before. On top of that, you've got a whole bunch of essays and you've got a whole bunch of advice. You put that together, you have got a mammoth book that is going to take a long time for people to get through and read. Now, what I did is I did an interview with Chris Congreve. I actually sat down with him and talked to him about the book, where it came from, why he decided to put it together, the content of the book, what he's excited about, and he even touches on some of his future releases coming out in the next few weeks and months. So I'm going to play that interview with you first of all. You can have a listen to what Chris has got to say about this book, because he's the author, as he points out in the interview. Gary's not the author, it's Gary's tricks, but Chris wrote everything. And then once we've listened to that interview, I'm going to come back and give everything a full review. So I am here with the legend himself, Chris Congreve. This is like your third time on the channel, man. You need to become like a regular slot on here. How you doing?
I'm a regular. I need my own theme tune, please.
I think I'm going to organise that for next time. I'm going to organise that for number 4. But this time it's super exciting, because the last time I had you on the show, you were talking about your second book, which was Curious and Curiouser.
Yep.
And now you're back because you've released another book, this time co-authored with Gary Jones.
Well, co-authored's a bit of a stretch. He left all the work to me. Yeah, it's what happened was I'd finished Curiouser and Curiouser. It was all I think it had just been released, and it was getting some good reviews, including one from your good self. And I popped down to see Gary Jones, and while I was there, he was like, "Oh, we ought to do a best of book." And I thought to myself, oh, bloody, I've only just finished. I'd literally just finished sort of doing all this book on my own. And I thought, and I said, I was still all fresh in my mind and everything. So I was like, do you know what? Let's do it. So we sat there outside a pub on the seafront in Devon, and we went through all our stuff, and we picked out 71, I think it is, of our favourite effects from my 2 books and Gary's 2 books, Life's a Beach, Gary's books, and mine, Curiosities and Curious and Curiouser. So we then went away. We were both working on new material. I was working on stuff for my 3rd book on my own. I hadn't even considered this. So we then got, I think it's 16 brand new effects as well, which we put in there. So that's the result of all the hard work. There's 88 effects, and it's yeah. But like I say, when you say co-authored by Gary, authored by me, but it has got Gary's stuff in there.
And I think it's important to note that you guys have been, for people that are new into magic, you guys have been like a double act in magic way back. Like I remember with Workers' Corner, you releasing some of the stuff through Workers' Corner. It was revolutionary. At the time, it was revolutionary. It's still light years ahead of anything else that's around today. Like, I know that you've put in there the pocket-to-pocket stuff and all of your handlings of pocket-to-pockets and all Gary's handlings of pocket-to-pocket. That's some of the most commercial magic with a pack of cards that you're ever going to see.
Yeah, I still do it to this day in the middle of my ambitious card routine. But yeah, Gary and I have been friends for getting on for 20 years now, I guess. And not a day goes by, like if I'm working on some new material, the first thing I'll do is I've got an idea, I've got a German of idea, or I've got a routine or whatever, and I'll call Gary and I'll go, right, what do you think about this? And the same goes, you know, if he's got something he's working on, he'll give me a call. Like I've called you today about a routine that I've sort of come up with. But, you know, a few hours before I called you, I'd already, in fact, I found Gary last night, I think. So, you know, he's that guy who you know him yourself, he's a really creative guy. He never sort of switches off. And sometimes he makes you sick because you'll take an idea to him and then he'll play around with it and he'll come back to you and he'll just add even a little thing in it. Oh God, why didn't I think of that? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, you know, between us, we sort of bounce ideas backwards and forwards, and I think that's important when you know, as a creator, if you've got somebody you can do that with, really. Mick Wilson's another guy who I sort of run a lot of my ideas past as well, because you know, he thinks a lot about what he's, you know, and it was like with you when I spoke to you earlier. You know, Mick's like very much like you. I told you about it, and then all of a sudden you went quiet, and I was like, "Oh, we don't really like this," and you were like, "No, I'm thinking," and yeah, and that's it. So yeah, Gary and I worked together for a long time.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? Looking through the table of contents, my favorite routine that you've ever created and my favorite routine that Gary's ever created are both in there, which is No Sleep from Gary. I love No Sleep. I think it's just brilliant. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
And you've got Child's Play in there.
Yeah.
Which was obviously bought out as a standalone trick for quite a lot of money back in the day. And
it was
handling in there. And I do Child's Play to this day. It's how I introduced Ryland in a lot of the gigs, you know.
Yeah. All of our favourite stuff's in there, Craig. So like Roll, which I released with Alakazam Magic, and that's still to this day, you know, does really well. I saw Peter Nardi last week, and they'd been to a convention, and he says, "Do you know what?" He says, "The thing we sold the most of was Roll." So Roll's in there. Child's Play, as you said, is in there. And all of, you know, a lot of the stuff that we've released over the years on DVDs and as you say, standalone tricks, it's all in there. It's our favourite stuff. So we've not sort of held anything back or whatever. And it's a really, like I say, almost 20 years of being friends and working together. It's a really nice thing for us to sort of bring out, and you know, it's almost like putting a full stop on that part of our careers and then on to the next, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Well, tell us about some of the new stuff. So you've got you've got 70 odd routines that have never seen the light of day before. You've 70 odd routines that have been around for a while. Tell us about some of the things that are brand new, because there's about 15 or 16 new releases.
There's 16 new things, yeah. So there's a lot of there's some coin stuff, some mentalism stuff. What else is in there? Gary's got like an exact change type routine in there. There's a pop-up coin routine where you sort of produce something. You know, you can produce a potato or, you know, anything from this using this routine. There's some card to wallet stuff in there. In fact, there's 2 exact change routines from Gary. So I'm just looking through it all now because it's been a while since I've read it, to be honest. There's my whole prediction with a hole punch, the business card. You've seen that, right?
Oh yeah, you did that at Alakazam, I think, at some point.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that's in there. Gary's got a really nice take on the Bizarre Twist Paul Harris routine. So it's a cross between Bizarre Twist and Anniversary Waltz, which is a cool idea. Something that I think you'll like. If you remember on Gary's DVD, he did with Mark Bendel, The Unknown.
Yeah,
there was like a stand. Do you remember? There's a stand-up version of Bizarre Twist. So instead of Bizarre Twist is typically performed down here as a very close-up thing, and then what the guys did was they sort of brought it up here, so it's all done at this level. So it's that handling, but the kicker finish, it's like a bizarre anniversary waltz. So that's quite cool as well. And there's also Gary's done, and Gary's, as you know, he's really well known for his work on misdirection. That's something he's known for in the magic business. He's wrote an essay on misdirection, and there's a routine that's hidden away in that essay, and it's an absolute gem. I mean,
really?
Oh God, yeah, it's so good. When you read it, you'll just laugh. You'll just laugh to yourself. It's brilliant, honestly. It's so good. But it's something that, you know, it's how can I put this without trying to sound a bit disparaging towards it, really? But it's one of those things that, and you as a working professional will totally get this. It's magic along the way. You know, you wouldn't walk up to a table and do this one thing and then walk off. But it's something that you would do as you're going along. When you read it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So I know you're going to do a review on the book once you've spent a little bit more time with it. So I'd love you to sort of read that and mention it in your review, because you'll love it, mate. Honestly, it's right up. Well, any working professional would really see the worth in that. So that again, that essay on misdirection is a really, really valuable thing as well. Plus, there's the essays that I wrote for my other book. So one about looking after your voice, and one about generally working at close up. So, you know, dealing with alpha males, how to approach tables, how to leave tables, and all that type of thing.
And what I like about the book as well is it's split up into different sections. So you've got cards, you've got coins, you've even got some mentalism in there, haven't you?
Yeah. Cards, coins, mentalism, something different. So there's my chop cup routines in there. And then Gary's aqua ring routine, which is from his book. Have you seen Aqua Ring?
I don't think I have. His book, so
it's something brand new. You know, we were talking about this the other day. It's not very often something brand new comes along in magic. So in this routine, you borrow a ring, you tie it onto a piece of string, and you drop it into a cup. And you talk about Houdini, blah blah blah, and the pieces of the string are left outside the cup. And when the spectator pulls the string, they can tie it on themselves, by the way. And when you pull the string out, the ring's melted off the string.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's that clean. It's like, yeah, it's amazing. It's a new principle. I've never seen it before. It's really clever. So that's in there as well. You're going to be reading this as soon as we finish this chatting.
Very second, yeah.
It's genius. Yeah, it's a genius idea from Gary. Yeah. That was in one of his Life's a Beach books. So I don't think it's ever been on. As far as I know, it's never been on like a DVD or a download or anything like that. It's just in his book. So you know yourself, you know, some of the best stuff in magic over the years, you just hide it in print, don't you?
You do. Yeah, absolutely. And here's a question. If you had to pick out your favourite Chris Congreve routine and your favourite Gary Jones routine from the book, what would you say?
Oh, that's a really good question. My favourite Gary Jones routine would be 3C, probably. It's
that's an incredible trick. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've got my own work of the both in there, actually, I think. So fire coins, 3C. That's probably my favourite of Gary's, because it's something I perform on a regular basis and it gets great reactions. And my own, do you know, I don't know. That's a difficult question. At the moment, the thing I really love performing is the whole punch prediction. I really love performing that. And like you said earlier, some of the pocket-to-pocket stuff, maybe that gets good reactions. And child's play, as you've mentioned, just because of the hook and so there's a few things really. It's difficult to say.
And who's the book aimed at? Like, is it who would get the most out of it? I know as a working pro, you and Gary are working pros. The essays in there are in working pros. The material is designed to reset and work without tables or lapping. But would people who are maybe not working pros still get?
Yeah, absolutely. If you look through this now, so I'm looking through the routine here, through the contents now. So the first part, the cards section, it starts off the first routine in the book is Gary's 6 cards to pocket routine, okay, which is quite a technically demanding routine. It's not, you know, it's not the most difficult thing sleight of hand was, but there's a lot of palming going on, and I would say it's sort of intermediate, sort of semi-advanced. But then when you get a bit further down, you'll find that there's a lot of stuff in there. So Gary's got it's called Pro Card Underbox, and it's virtually self-working card underbox, but it makes you look like a professional, you know. So you've got stuff from, you know, absolutely self-working, and then things like you know, roll we were talking about earlier, self-working.
Yeah.
So and you know, what else is that? That, let's have a look. Stickman Sam, right? You've performed that yourself before. Very straightforward. So that's the card stuff. The coin stuff, you know, again, 3C fire coins. Not the most difficult trick in the world, but you've still got to be able to sort of do a few sleights and things like that, and things like shuttle pass and stuff. It's very difficult to, I'll put it another way. It's very easy to do that badly, yeah. But there's things like metal sheep, Gary's routine, metal sheep, self-working, great routine.
I performed that on the channel the other day.
Yeah.
Everybody like flipped about it. They were like, "Where can you learn this? Where can you learn this?"
Yeah. So metal sheep. There's a routine using coin unique for a different thing, So mentalism, in the mentalism set, they're all pretty much self. There's nothing really difficult in there. Virtually self-working. So yeah, there's something for everyone, mate. Basically, it's what I'm trying to get to, and that in a very long around the house's way.
And where can people get it from? Because it is literally only available currently from you guys.
From me, yeah. So basically, you just need to send £75 via PayPal to Chris Congreve at googlemail.com. I am going to be getting a website put up where there's going to be a shop and everything else. That's still under construction. Or if you go into Facebook and you can search Alas, Chris and Jones, which is the title of the book, we have got a Facebook page where you can sort of contact us and you can drop us a message and stuff. So we're doing that postpaid in the UK. Obviously, if it's overseas, then just drop us an email or drop us a message and we'll discuss the postage. I think we were posting to the US. We've been selling them at 85 and meeting them halfway. It's quite expensive to post it, and it's quite a big book, Craig. To be honest with you, it's like how many pages? 285 pages, and it's hardback, so it's quite a sturdy book to be sending out. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we've been meeting people halfway with the postage overseas, really.
But you will travel. You will not travel. You will post it worldwide. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I say, we've been meeting people halfway with the postage. We shipped one out to New Zealand, and I met them halfway with the postage as well. It was 20 quid, and I charged them a tenner, and we paid a tenner ourselves. Just to be fair. Yeah, it's just available from us at the moment. Alakazam are having a small stock from us, but you know what those guys are like. Their stock will go quite quickly, but obviously buy them from us anyway.
Absolutely. Now, the book's amazing. I'm going to do a full review on it in a minute. I'm going to perform a trick or two out of the book. But before I do that, need to ask you, you mentioned a third book and then you got distracted with Smith and Jones. Is there a third Chris Congreve book coming on the horizon at some point?
No, I've parked that for the time being, mate, to be honest with you. I've been working on other stuff. I've got some single trick releases coming out. I've got 4 things coming out with Alakazam in the near future. I'm a bit like you, it's like waiting for a bus, waiting for a Craig Petty routine and a Chris Congreve routine, nothing for ages, and then 5 or 6 come along at once. So, yeah, I've been working on a lot of stuff like that, really. So, I wrote up the stuff for the book, and as far as that goes now, I've sort of done nothing. So I think my next book is going to be 2 or 3 years away at least, I would think.
Okay. And I don't know everything that you've got coming out with Alakazam, but I know the thing that's coming out next.
Yes.
Peter Nardi showed it me, and you've obviously showed it me over Zoom ages ago, but then Peter showed it me in person. I'm not just saying this because I wouldn't just say this. This is the best Chris Congreve trick that's ever been released. Do
you think so?
It's incredible.
Peter said the same, to be honest with you. And I don't know. I'm really pleased with it. And Alakazam has done a fantastic job of getting the stuff. Harry's sourced all the stuff. We've had things made. We've literally had things made, especially for this trick, rather than finding something and doctoring it or whatever. So I can't say too much about it because we're doing a live launch later on this week. So the trailer will be going out and they'll be available to buy just after that. But yeah, it's a mentalism routine, and the props and everything are really, really great. You'll be proud to own it, and it's not cards, so it's something that's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I don't want to say too much about it either. Maybe I can get you back on the channel when.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I'd love you to talk about it. I think that pretty much every working pro, and it also feels like it's part of your everyday carry as well.
Absolutely, it's something you just pop. You know yourself as a working pro, something where okay, we'll drop one little thing in there. It involves money. Okay, so as soon as you bring out a prop that looks a little bit different, and it involves money, people will and they pay attention to it. So it's something that I mean, for how much space it's going to take up, as you're walking around the tables. And the nice thing is as well, you can get people involved. You can get people involved around the table. You can hand out things, get them walk around the table. Okay, so now it's your turn to do this. Now it's your turn to do this. Now it's your turn. You know what I mean? So everything is like very much. You can make it really play really big, or you can do it for 2 or 3 people as well.
Yeah,
it's or killer. One person.
Absolutely killer. So
hang on, cat's come to say hello.
Made to produce the cat. Yeah. So that's coming out soon.
This isn't just a cat. Look at this. It's a Maine Coon cat. Look at the size of him.
Wow. He's bigger than you.
He's massive. Yeah, he's huge. He's gone now.
You've got a lion, right? So that's coming out soon. But for now, all we can talk about is the book. I'm going to bring this back into the studio. I'm going to do a full review of the book. But Chris, thank you so much for coming on the channel.
Thanks for having me again. And next time, I want to thank you.
You're going to get it. So there you go. That is an interview with Chris Congreve. First of all, I want to say thank you, Chris, for finding time to come onto the channel. And I'll say the same thing to you that I did say to Chris, which is this is going to be a completely honest review. I do consider Chris a friend. I do consider Gary a friend. I am a huge fan of their material. But if this book sucks, then I will tell you that it sucks. Although in all honesty, with these two at the helm, if this book sucks, I think that hell will freeze over. Mr. Frosty the Snowman will be appointed the devil's right-hand guy. I can't see that this book will be bad, but it's going to be a full, honest review. Anyway, let's get into the review. So first of all, like I said in the interview, this is a mammoth book. It is almost 200 pages, and it has been laid out brilliantly. The book feels really quality. It looks great. It feels great. It's illustrated. It's well written, as you would expect. Chris has written it, and he's got a lot of experience writing books now. It's well explained. And that's the thing, sometimes you see magic books and it just waffles on forever. It's like there's one trick that requires one move and that's it. And it takes 15 pages to explain how that trick works. Or you see some books, and Vanishing Ink can be a bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? Vanishing Ink do this sometimes, where it says it's like a 200-page book, but then you open it up and it's like one photo per page, and like half of the book could have been eliminated by making the photos a little bit smaller, and it wouldn't have impacted the enjoyment of the person that's reading it. So, they're very quick, which I really appreciate in my magic books. I don't like waffle. I just want people to get to the point, and that's what Chris does. His writing style is excellent. When he is explaining the trick, it is explained clearly. However, it is also done succinctly and as in as shorter period as possible, which is great. I absolutely love that. So like I said, the first section of the book is the best of the best section. It's based on the material that they have released over the previous weeks, months and years. And it's divided into 4 sections. So you've got coins, you've got cards. Cards is the biggest section, but coins is fairly big as well. You've got mentalism, and then you've got other. In this section, there are some incredible tricks, some that I've never seen before. Even though I've read all of their other books, I must have glossed over them in the past because I didn't even know them. There's this great trick called Owen's Opener, which is an opening. Owen Strickland, who I've interviewed on Talk Magic, is one of the busiest working professional magicians in the country. It's his opener when he goes out and does walk around. Well, this guy is super busy, super successful. So as soon as I read that, I was like, my gosh, I'm going to get to learn Owen Strickland's opener. And I read it and I'm like, man, this is incredible. And then you've got stuff like Child's Play. I was with Nemid Phoenix the other day, and he said to me, what's your favorite Chris Congreve trick, and I said it's child's play, and he'd never seen child's play, never heard of it, and I showed it to him, and he's like, oh man, that's really cool. And this is a trick that was marketed for like years ago for like 30 odd pounds or something like that, and it's just included how to make it up in the actual book. And then he's put in there something called Child's Play Light, which is a different version which he uses sometimes when he wants to actually get through things a little bit quicker. I mean, there's so much great stuff in here. In the interview, I talked about the fact that they've included all of Gary Jones and Chris Congreve's pocket-to-pocket stuff. Now, if you don't know, Gary Jones and Chris Congreve used to have a production company together called Workers' Corner, and they released about 5 or 6 DVDs before they shut it down for various different reasons. And one of those DVDs was called Pocket to Pocket, and it's some of the most commercial close-up magic you'll ever see. The whole idea is that a card jumps from one pocket to another pocket to another pocket, a signed card, and it looks incredible, and it's a great way of actually doing that. Well, all of that has been included on this project, which is just brilliant. Even if you only learnt that section and nothing else, you would have some of the most commercial card magic that you'll ever see. I mean, killer, absolutely killer. So there's that. Then you've got, I mean, I could keep going forever through the table of contents and through the stuff that's in here. There's so much really good material. I'm going to perform something for you. This is by Gary Jones. So I'm going to perform this for you now and show it you. This is a really good trick and give you an idea of the style of magic that you'll be learning if you buy this book. And this is not going to use a full deck.
Oh.
This is only going to use 5 cards. Okay? I found the 5 cards out earlier, put them on top of the deck. We're just going to use 5 cards for this trick, okay?
That's right.
And I'm going to show you in a second what the 5 cards are. The most important card is the top card. I want you to hold your hand out, and the reason this card's really important is because it's the only ace in this packet of 5 cards. I'm going to pop the ace right there. Keep your hand nice and flat. I'm going to put the ace right there, okay?
Yep.
Now I'm going to show you the other cards as well. The other cards are the 4 kings: the King of Clubs, the King of Hearts, the King of Spades, and the King of Diamonds. Now I want you to watch. Keep one eye on the 4 kings, but keep one eye on your ace. Watch. Did you see it happen?
No.
Because now your ace is now the 4 kings.
Hey.
And if the 4 kings are over here, that means over here we have the ace. Any questions?
Yeah, how'd you do that?
Magic, mate, magic. So hopefully you notice from that performance that all of the material in here by Gary and Chris is commercial material. They're not going to shy away from moves. Some of it's self-working for sure, but they're not going to shy away from moves either. If there's a move that they need to do in order to make the trick work, they're going to put that move in there. They have no problem doing moves, but really complicated moves. But I think that one thing that personifies Chris and Gary's style of magic is they like to take the simplest approach. Now, simple does not necessarily mean easy. The simplest way to control a card is with a pass. It's not easy, but it's simple, right? And they always take the simplest approach. And as I say, some of the stuff is self-working, some of the stuff is fairly difficult, but that allows the reader, if you're new into magic, it allows some of the routines to become aspirational. What I mean by that is you can start off with the self-working stuff, and then as you go on, you can learn some of the more complicated stuff. Gary has included in here one of my favorite tricks that he's ever released. This is super commercial gold, and I really wish he hadn't put it in here because now everyone's going to be doing it, but I'm going to perform it for you guys so you can see exactly what it looks like. I'm going to perform this for you right now. Hey Jack, so here's what's going to happen. I've got this deck of cards here, and I will tell you I've been using this deck of cards for a very long time. They are well used. In fact, I'll tell you something about this deck of cards. Almost every single card has been picked in this deck. Because I do a lot of card tricks and I have people pick cards. Almost every single card in this deck has been picked. I think there's only 1 card that hasn't been picked.
All right.
So I just thought you should know that. It's very interesting. And you're going to pick a card. And so I'm going to spread through, and you can literally have anyone you want to. In fact, just name a card.
8 of clubs.
The 8 of clubs. That one right there.
Yep.
Are you sure you want the 8 of clubs?
100%.
You can change your mind, because that's crazy if you do want the 8 of clubs. You genuinely want the 8 of clubs.
Want it.
That is crazy. You don't know why that's crazy, do you?
No.
That is absolutely crazy. The 8 of clubs is the only card in this deck that's not been chosen.
No.
Yeah, seriously, you picked the only card that's not yet been chosen. How weird is that?
That's very weird.
Well, I can prove it to you, because you see, when I do a trick with a deck, I always write if the card's been chosen or not. And as you can see, it says there, been chosen. This card's been chosen. This one's been chosen. This one's been chosen. This one's been chosen. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. All of these cards have been chosen. Every single... Oh, there's one that's not been chosen. There is one that's not been chosen. All of these other cards been chosen, been chosen, been chosen, been chosen, been chosen, been chosen, been chosen. All of these been chosen all the way to the very, very end. But there is one card and one card only that's not been chosen. What was the name of your card again?
Eight of clubs.
Don't you think that's a coincidence?
Oh, come on.
But here's the thing. Look at this. All of these cards have been chosen, right? Other than that one card that you picked, that's the only one, and you named a card, that's the only one that's not been chosen. But do you know what? Do you know what now, Jack?
What?
That card's been chosen. Which means even that one says been chosen on it as well. Every single card in this deck has now been chosen, my friend. And that is chosen by Gary Jones. I mean, how commercial is that? That is one of the most commercial tricks that I do. The premise is just absolutely brilliant, and I love it dearly. I really do. Yeah, so I mean, I could talk about this book for hours. I really could. I knew this book was going to be good. I knew it was going to be good, but it's actually surpassed even my expectations. This is probably, I would say this is in my top 5 books that I've ever read. This is in my top 5 magic books that I've ever read. It's up there, in my opinion, with things like Carnicopia. It's up there, in my opinion, with stuff like Rune's World. This book is incredible. I absolutely love it. And I love the fact that you've taken the best of Gary and Chris's work and combined it into this one section. I also love some of the new material as well. I mean, you know, some books that come out these days, they've got like 15 routines in it. And that's it. Just the new stuff, the 17 routines, just the new stuff. I mean, grief. In fact, I'm going to perform one of those new routines for you. I'm going to perform one for you right now.
Hello.
How you doing, Jack? You okay?
Yeah, man.
I have a pack of cards, which we're going to get to in a bit. But I also have another card from another deck. This card right here. This is from a different deck of cards.
Nice.
I'm going to try and do the impossible. I'm going to put that card on the table. When I snap my fingers, you're going to name a card. And the card that I put down here will be the card that you name.
No.
Yeah, seriously. Are you ready?
Yep.
Any card, not a joker.
3 of spades.
Really?
Yep.
The 3 of spades?
Yep.
I got the 10 of clubs. I mean, I couldn't have been more wrong if I tried. But in my defence, that's a very difficult thing to do. And it's not easy.
Yeah.
But
1 in 52 chance.
What about if I could turn that card? What about if I could cover that card and turn it into the, what did you say, 3 of spades?
Yeah.
Would that be good?
That'd be really good.
Yeah, I can't do that either. But I'll tell you what, we'll try a different trick. We'll get back to that in a bit. We'll try a different trick, okay?
Okay.
They're all there. They are all different. That's important. You're going to pick a card, okay?
All right.
Any card you want to. So just say stop.
Stop.
There you go. Have a look at that card. Do not show me. I cheat. And when you've got it, show the camera. You got it?
Yep.
And put it back in the pack any way you want to.
Okay.
Right there? I'm going to leave it down in there, okay? So now I'm going to try and work out what my card is. In fact, I'm going to write on the back of this 10 of clubs what I think your card is. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Yeah. Concentrate.
Yep.
Are you concentrating?
Not thinking nothing
Concentrate harder. I've got it. You're so easy to read. Got it. Can you recap that for me? Can you recap the pen for me, buddy? Thank you very much. I think I've got it. One card and one card only right here. I've wrote it on the back of this card. What was the name of your card?
3 of clubs.
The 3 of clubs.
Yep.
Are you joking?
Nope.
Check this out. 3 of clubs.
What?
3 of clubs. I got the 3 of clubs. I got the 3 of clubs right there on the back of the 10. That's not bad, right?
That's
but
very
hold
good.
your hand out for me. Because watch the 3 of clubs, yeah? Watch where I wrote 3 of clubs on the back of the 10. Because I'm going to try and go one step further. Earlier on, you named a card. What was the card you named?
The 3 of spades.
So it was close.
Very close, yeah.
Watch. You're never going to guess what I've just done.
What?
Check this out. On the back of the 10 of clubs, I've now changed the writing to 3 of spades.
What the hell?
There you go. And you can keep that as a souvenir.
What?
So there you go. There you go. I mean, I could literally sit here and perform every single routine out of this book because all of them, there isn't, you know, like sometimes you read a book and you watch a DVD and sometimes there's routines in there and you kind of go, nah, that's no good. That's no good. That's no good. That's no good. That's a good one. No good, no good, no good. That's a good one. That's not the case with this book. Everything is golden. Everything is brilliant. And it's also underground. Chris never releases too many copies of his books. It's not even available through magic dealers. Like he said in the interview, he's going to have a few going into Alakazam, but there's not going to be that many out there. You buy this book, you get this material, you can have access to a load of stuff that other people aren't doing, which is also a really important consideration. So yeah, I mean, I could go on. In fact, I'm probably going to do a 5x5 soon, which is like, I'm just going to like highlight my 5 favorite tricks from this book because I love this book so much. Stickman Sam, which I performed on the last review show special on Chris's book, Out of Congreve's Curiosities, that's in here as well. And that's a killer trick that I've been doing ever since I learnt it from Chris's last book. The list goes on and on and on. I'm going to give this book 100%. Because it's flawless. There's nothing you can say about it. It's a great price. It's really good quality. It's got an absolute ton of material in it of all difficulty levels, whatever type of magic you like, whether it's coin magic, card magic, mentalism. You've got something for everybody. You've got greatest hits and you've got brand new routines. You could be literally, you could, and I'm not exaggerating here, you could make a career out of this book. You can actually make a career. If you were new into magic and you buy this book and you only ever learn the tricks in this book, you can make yourself a career just out of the material in this book. That's how good it is. It gets 100%. I want to say congratulations to Chris Congreve and Gary Jones. And the only thing that I can say is I have no idea how Chris or Gary, if they ever write another book again, I don't see how they're going to top this, because this is just simply superb, and it has made it into the top 5 magic books that I have ever read. It is brilliant. I advise you to do whatever you can do to get a copy of this. Beg, borrow, or steal. Do whatever you can to get a copy of this book. I am going to put the email address down in the description and down at the bottom of the screen. You can email Chris directly, and he can ship it directly to you. As I say, he will ship worldwide. You can't find it on a website. You can't find it any magic dealers. The only place you can get it is from Chris Congreve. So there you go. Guys, thank you very much for joining me for this review show special. Really appreciate it. Make sure that if you want to see more videos like this, you like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. And I'm going to be back again tomorrow. I'm going to be back tomorrow with 3 videos. 2 o'clock, we're going to have a short. 6 o'clock, we're going to have a live. 9 o'clock, we're going to have a Talk Magic. Guys, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to check out episode 2 of mine and Lloyd's podcast, the Magic Podcast. It's going up Wednesday at 9 o'clock. If you haven't seen the first episode yet, you can do so by subscribing to the podcast on your favourite podcasting channel. I'll be back again tomorrow on Magic TV. Thanks very much for watching. You have a great weekend.